So we've had our Husqvarna riding mower for a very long time, and over time things happen to it and you have to make repairs. The nice thing about this is that this lawnmower is actually held up, even though we have to do some repairs every now and then. I had a yard machine. Let's just say it's not quite in the same condition as this trusty Husqvarna. So the Husqvarna was parked last year. What happened was somebody had put bad gas into the tank. They used a gas tan that I had out in the barn that had some water in it. It was purposely being used for bad gas. And that bad gas then got into the system. It wrecked the fuel filter. It fouled up the spark plug because it wouldn't start. We were working on the house. I didn't have time to mess with it, and we just left it turned off. So what I wanted to do is do a video for you to show you all the different components that could go wrong with a Husqvarna mower that would prevent it from starting. We could start with the bad gas. Okay, so today I'm going to be removing some bad gas from our Husqvarna lawnmower. Now, if you have bad gas, the next thing that's probably wrong is the fuel filter. You can find the fuel filter. Like I said, we've had this for a very long time. So the fuel filter is located down here on the left-hand side. If you had bad gas, you most likely have a bad fuel filter. You need to go ahead and replace them both. The fuel filter is controlling how much fuel goes up into the engine. The quality of your gas is important because if it's bad quality, it won't ignite. The other thing that's very important in the fuel mixture is the air. The fuel-air mix ratio is what ultimately creates the right amount of air and fuel in the system for that spark plug to ignite it. So on the front of these, you have an air filter. It's important to make sure that your air filter stays clean or that you replace it on a regular basis, because that air filter, as it gets clogged with dust from driving around constantly on the lawnmower, and I've also found that ants like to get in there a lot, that changes the air-fuel mixture ratio, and your lawnmower will slowly become harder and harder to start. As the fuel filter gets clogged and the air filter gets clogged, that could be part of your starting issues. The other thing that I've found with these is that it's good to make sure that your spark plug is in good working order. The spark plug's right down here. You just pull that out. 5/8 wrench will remove the plug, and you can put a new plug in. Spark plugs aren't very expensive. You might want to replace it once every couple of years, depending on how frequently you drive your mower. Another issue that I've had with the riding mower is that if you let it sit over the winter time and you don't maintain your battery, chances are the battery is going to die. Now, if you're turning your key and it's clicking over and you can see it try and hit, but it's not just kicking over, then it's probably a fuel problem, which is the things that I just covered, the gas, the fuel filter, the spark plug, and your air filter. However, if you're turning the key and you're not getting a click at all, but you hear a buzzing noise, then it's probably your starter solenoid right here. If it's not clicking and turning over the engine, the starter solenoid is most likely your problem and not the gas. The starter solenoid can easily be tested. There's a couple bolts on top here. What I like to do is just take some jumper cables and jump it. Keep in mind that whatever you use to test this, if you're trying to jump it over and see if it'll turn the engine over, make sure it has rubber handles, because that is electricity. It will spark, and you'll find that with whatever tool you decide to use, it'll leave black marks on the tool. It is not something that will be lightly shocking if you touch it. But if all of those things aren't working, and it's just completely dead when you turn the key, then it's definitely your battery. The battery just comes out with a couple bolts. I just replaced this one, but you can also charge your battery, and I would suggest over the wintertime maintaining it, because the fluids in the battery, if it completely gets drained over the wintertime, it could actually kill the battery, and then you're in the boat of getting a new battery. New battery for these costs about $30. Your starter solenoid costs about $10. Your air filter probably costs between $5 and $10, depending on if you go generic or if you go with a Kohler. Your fuel filter, about the same, $5 or so. Spark plug, about $7. and obviously, you know, the bad gas costs you whatever it costs to fill the tank. That's outrageous. So those are just some main components of your riding mower that if you're having trouble getting started, you could either upgrade them all like I just did, or you could do it piece by piece. But either way, checking those components over and understanding, you know, where to start is kind of a big deal. Again, remember, if you turn the key and it turns over, but it's not catching, then it's most likely a fuel related issue, which is your fuel filter, your air filter, and your spark plug. If you turn the key and you just hear a buzzing noise but not a real click, then it's most likely your starter solenoid. And you can test that by jumping the solenoid to see if there's enough energy to turn over the engine. If there's just not enough energy to operate anything at all, then it's most likely because you have a bad battery. You can also jump your battery off of a car engine, which I do on a regular basis. Those are some shooting steps on these that hopefully will save you some money and time than trying to take your Husqvarna or riding mower down to a repair shop. There's no need for it. These are all inexpensive items to replace, and really every couple of years you should probably do it just as a maintenance thing anyway. Stay tuned, I'll show you how we change the oil on one of these. We'll also get some new screws for that hood.